Hello, and thank you for your generous contribution to Molly's Enhappification project. And this is my tutorial for drawing Libby. Libby is a beloved character on the Ghost and Molly McGee, so I hope you'll have fun learning how to draw her. So when I try to come up with a pose for any character I'm trying to draw, I do an exploration drawing. And it's usually kind of messy, and I give myself lots of permission for mistakes. And that way I can be very free in exploring it without getting precious and be a perfectionist. And when I then go to working on my actual drawing, I can, it's just a good foundation for it. So this is what we're going to work on. And you might think this looks pretty good already. It's okay. It's just, kind of scribbly. So I'm probably going to, you can see I had some issues with her foot down here. I kind of want to angle it a little bit so it's not what we call twinning or a twin of this foot, because that's not really desirable. It just doesn't look very lifelike. Nothing in life is twinned. And so I also want to make sure her hands create a nice platform, and we have a clear, what we call a silhouette for her turtle, so the turtle isn't overlapping her hair. So it reads very clearly on first glance. And we just wanted to, she's got a lot of hair detail that's kind of tricky. And so I wanted to work that out before I got going. And here we go. You ready? So I always start with the head. And then we work with what's called line of action. So her head is in 3/4 as she looks at her turtle, and she's got a chin. So we're going to add that. Now, I'm drawing in pen. Don't draw in pen. Try pencil. Draw lightly, especially when we're doing construction. These aren't the lines you want to emphasize when you get into your finished drawing, but it's okay to see them. It kind of gives your drawing a lot of life and structure, so don't be afraid of seeing them. We're just, having fun, and none of your lines are, your enemy. This is all just learning, so be gentle with yourself. So, okay, we got our ball, our crosshairs where the eyes and the nose will orient on. We have our chin, and so before we get into drawing her face, let's just kind of make sure that we have everything in alignment. So her body is she's kind of hunched a lot, actually. So, she's shy. So a lot of times when somebody's shy, they kind of like their chest caves in and they hunch because they kind of want to turn inward and hide. So we're going to do that. And then she kind of has this slouchy kind of posture. Her legs are going to come down into her boots. She's got big old boots, like combat boots. And then this leg is going to be right alongside it. Top of this boot's going to be a little, in 2D space, lower than the other, but reality, it's kind of closer to us if you're in 3D. This boot is going to have to overlap the bottom of that boot a little bit. And then, like I was showing you in my practice drawing, I'm going to angle that bottom of the boot like that a bit. We'll see how that works out as we clean it up. We can always change it a bit. All right, and might push her head over more. That's okay too. So please forgive the hairiness in the drawing, but this is what we do. We work through it. Their shoulders are going to be kind of hunched. That's a very typical Libby kind of posture. Then her sweater is going to, it's like she's got a slouchy sweater on. So the forearm part of it isn't very long. Got some ribbed edges. So I'm going to kind of bring her sweater down, curve it a little more, wanting more slouch. There we go. And the ribbed bottom of her sweater. And then her legs have some curve to them. This knee has the rip in her pants. So to show the 3/4 part of her boot, we're going to show like where the laces go. Right there. And then this line will kind of come down the toe to show you kind of 3/4 front of the boot. And then we can always give the tread a little indent to make it look like it's got lugs. Do the same thing with this one, laces, laces. You can see how loose I'm doing those laces. That's okay. And oh, these are some big boots. So in this drawing, Libby's got massive boots, and that's cool too. All right, so let's get that hand up here. Now, I'm gonna give a nice flat platform like that. All right, now I'm gonna let the hand kind of conform to that. So her thumb is there in front. We'll see like maybe one finger in front of the middle finger, and then her pinky finger we're probably not going to see because it's on the other side. Now her other arm is going to be on the other side of that arm, that ribbed part of the sweater there, and then we'll see kind of this hand right next to that one, kind of mostly overlapped. So the thumbs are on the outside. That's kind of some bulky hands there. If I was doing it over, I probably wouldn't do it quite like that, but that's okay. All right, so her face. So I'm gonna cheat her nose closer this way, and then her pupils looking down at her turtle are on that crosshair. Now her eyes are not perfect circles. She's got these kind of droopy upper eyelids, almost like she's sad or nervous. That's just the way her eyes are shaped. But we can make her eyebrows more happy. It's just, you know, unless she's super surprised, she's got these kind of always worrisome eyelids. There she's her chin, and her mouth is a little on the smaller side. There's some teeth and a tongue. So we kind of just color in or darken this corner. So the top part's her teeth and the bottom part's her tongue. And then her hair, so it looks like, oh my God, how am I going to draw this? So let's do it in parts. So she's got these long bangs that come down the side of her face, right? And they just kind of melt into the rest of her hair, and you don't have to show how. Top of her ears, right at that construction line. So that's there. Now, she has right where the construction line where her eyes, that divide her eyes, she has this kind of upside down V of her hair, like that. All right? And then it kind of jags up and then goes over. And then her bangs kind of come out from that. Then on this side, it kind of does this curve, this almost U shape, where her hair is jutting out. And then that one comes up here. And then you have another piece of hair that comes up like this. And that is what's going to lead into the top of her head. And since it's tilted down, we're going to make sure the top of her head is generally kind of angled downward. So when we draw her hair, even though we're going to swoop down a little bit, the hair that's piled up on top of her head is also going to kind of be the same angle as the top of her head since she's looking down at her turtle. And then we're going to kind of follow this down, let gravity kind of pull it almost straight down, and then her hair flares out near the bottom. And then we have these kind of insets of the hair, these separation jags. And then the far side of her hair just kind of comes down like that. And then she has these flyaways that you can add. That shows you she just needs to use conditioner more, apparently. We all have that. That's pretty good. Now, I didn't leave myself much room for the turtle, so I got to draw him a little smaller. So let me make sure I have his room for his head. It's kind of like a dome head with kind of a flatter bottom. Give him a dot for our eye and maybe a little smile. His neck is kind of sticking up. And then he's got a, shell shape, so it's domed on top and then flat-ish on the bottom. And then he's got one leg here. It's kind of just like two lines. And another leg almost off her hands, but not quite. And then a little tail. Doo-doo. Done. Let's just say that's Simon. And I think that's our Libby. I hope that wasn't too fast. Feel free to play it a couple times, watch it through, and then or pause it as you're going. I like to give her a little drop shadow. Gives her something to stand on. And there's Libby. Please have fun drawing her and be gentle with yourself. It takes us a while to really get comfortable drawing these characters, but we do it hundreds and hundreds of times, so that's how we get good at it. So give yourself a chance to practice. Thank you for your contribution and your love for the Ghost and Molly McGee.